Cesar Milan was once hailed as the king of dog training and an unquestionable icon for a whole generation of animal lovers. Now that he has finally broken his silence after decades at the top of his field, enduring countless scandals, lawsuits, and harsh accusations, he has nothing left to lose. What he reveals is shocking. He doesn't hold back anything, and there are no fears. The scariest truth is that things are much worse than you could have imagined. Are you ready for this? Cesar Milan, also known as the Dog Whisperer, was once a huge name in dog training, with an amazing ability to understand and change dog behavior. He built a huge media empire that captivated millions of fans around the world, but then he seemed to disappear from the spotlight, leaving the public and the media buzzing with questions about his sudden absence. Before this, his show Dog Whisperer with Cesar Milan had become a hit. The show was a worldwide hit, airing in over 80 countries. Its success not only raised Milan's profile, but also opened doors to new opportunities, such as writing books, giving speeches, and hosting training workshops. However, after the show ended, Milan's appearance in the media started to fade. He didn't announce any new projects, and training events were cancelled without clear reasons. His silence led to a lot of speculation and worry among his fans. During this time, rumors spread about the problems Milan might be having. Some sources went into detail. Several sources said he was having serious money problems, possibly because of failed business ventures or bad money management. Others said he was in legal trouble because of his controversial training methods. There were even rumors of personal crises, suggesting Milan might be dealing with depression or family problems. Milan's absence didn't just affect his career. It left a void in the dog, loving and training communities, where many saw him as a guiding light and an inspiration for understanding and connecting with dogs. People were left wondering who would take over the work he had started when he went silent. At the same time, the media and fans scrambled to find out what was going on with Milan. Articles, interviews, and TV segments about him were found, but most of them were out of date or not official. The lack of solid information only made people more curious and worried about the real state of the Dog Whisperer. To understand why he went silent, we need to look back at Cesar Milan's life. He was born in Mexico and grew up around dogs, which gave him a dog-loving personality. After moving to the US, he worked at dog training facilities and quickly became famous for his ability to help dogs who were having problems. This reputation led to the creation of Dog Whisperer with Cesar Milan, which was a big step forward in his career. But with fame came scrutiny and conflict. His training methods, which were based on dominance theory and strict discipline, were harshly criticized by some experts and animal welfare groups, who said they could hurt dogs and weren't in line with modern positive, and these disagreements may have contributed to his decision to step away from the public eye. On top of that, Milan's personal life was full of upheaval. In 2010, he divorced his wife of 16 years, which was a devastating blow. Soon after, his loyal companion and co-star, Daddy the Pit Bull, died. These two tragedies sent Milan into deep depression and made him think about ending his life. But with the help of family and friends, he got through it and went back to work, even though he had emotional scars. From those years, Milan may have felt uneasy and needed to get away from the spotlight to focus on healing and his family. His silence led to rumors and unease, but it may have been a necessary step for him to find balance and set a new course for his future. While he was away, Milan probably thought about his career and life, weighing his successes and failures and looking for new ways to help and interact with dogs. Fans will eagerly await his return, if it ever happens, hoping that it brings something new. Throughout his career, Cesar Milan was an untouchable icon in the world of dog training. He was adored by millions of people, from regular people with pets to famous people, and he seemed untouchable. But fame has a cruel edge. The brighter the spotlight, the harder the fall. For Milan, that fall came not only from debates over his training methods, but also from lawsuits, explosive accusations, and a loss of public trust. For years, Milan was proud of his unique approach to dog training, which was based on being calm and firm. However, his methods weren't always praised. Animal welfare groups like the SPCA and the Humane Society of the United States said his methods were too harsh and could hurt the dogs. The real storm came when Milan was sued several times in recent years. The most shocking case was when former gymnast Leah Mattis sued Milan in 2017 with serious allegations that she was abused while visiting a training center owned by Milan in Santa Clarita, California. Junior Milan's famous pit bull attacked Mattis, who said Junior tore into her leg, leaving her with serious injuries that ended her professional gymnastics career. But Mattis said Junior had a history of biting people and animals, and she accused Milan of knowing about the dog's aggressive nature but not taking the right precautions, making her a victim of his negligence. The lawsuit didn't end there. Mattis dropped an even more shocking claim that Junior had killed one of Queen Latifah's dogs when people were most upset about how Milan allegedly handled the death, not the fact that the dog had died in the first place. According to Cesar Milan, he covered it up by telling staff to lie to Queen Latifah that the dog had been hit by a car instead of admitting that Junior had killed it. This news spread like wildfire, making dog lovers angry. If it's true, it didn't just call Milan's ethics into question. It shattered the image of a caring dog expert that he had spent years building up. Milan replied, denying everything. His lawyers said the Queen Latifah story was made up and that he hadn't hidden anything. As for T's case, Milan's lawyers said the incident happened years ago and that he wasn't legally responsible for her injuries. They also said Mattis was using his fame for personal gain. Opinions were very divided. Some saw it as an attack meant to bring him down, while others saw it as proof of a darker side to Milan, a man who was once held in high regard. Although Milan is seen as a leader in dog training, he has been sued before for dog bites. In 2006, a producer from the show Dog Whisperer sued him after a dog on the show attacked her and caused serious harm. Animal welfare groups had long criticized Milan's methods, saying that his use of shock collars, choke chains, and forcing dogs into submission was actually violence disguised as training, which could leave dogs traumatized and reactive. Modern trainers openly disagreed with Milan, calling his dominance and alpha techniques outdated. Even celebrities who used to support Milan started pulling away. Many who had praised his work on his show now stayed quiet or spoke out against him. Losing Holly would support hit Milan's image hard. People stopped seeing him as a genius trainer and started asking, does Cesar Milan really deserve the Dog Whisperer title? With lawsuits, controversies, and falling trust, Cesar Millan's future looks worse than ever. Will he be able to rebuild his reputation after these blows? Whether the accusations are true or just part of a smear campaign, one thing is for sure. Cesar Milan is no longer the untouchable king of dog training. Whether he survives this storm or not, his legacy will always be tainted with controversy. Fame, success, and public adoration were once the golden bricks that made up Cesar M's empire. But as the shine faded, shocking cracks in that seemingly solid wall began to show. The collapse of the Dog Whisperer wasn't just caused by lawsuits or criticism from outside sources. It came from within his own followers. People who were close to him and trusted betrayed him and revealed shocking secrets about how he ran his life for years. Milan didn't just become famous through Dog Whisperer. He built a huge empire with animal training centers, online courses, guidebooks, and pet product lines. Milan couldn't have run such a huge empire by himself, so he relied on a team of assistants, fellow trainers, and business partners. Then, in the middle of the 2020s, a wave of departures hit key figures connected to the Cesar Milan brand, including training assistants. TV producers, financial managers, and trainers all quit all of a sudden. The real reasons were anger at Milan's leadership, shady business dealings, and strong disagreements over his training methods. Some former employees and partners spoke out, no longer hiding what they called Milan's harsh and unclear management. A senior, ex-trained trainer described the intense pressure at Milan's centers, where he expected constant work but didn't give much in return. He created the impression that he understood animals' minds, but he didn't. TV producers who worked with Milan said he was difficult to work with and would sometimes erupt in anger. Not at all like the calm, in-control dog whisperer he played on TV. Even worse, allegations of shady finances in Milan's company came to light. One former employee said money was spent without a clear explanation, and investors asked where the money went but were not answered. These accusations hurt Milan's reputation and raised serious questions about his financial honesty. Milan's business became more chaotic as employees sued him over unclear contracts or unpaid overtime. A new TV project was put on hold or scrapped as partners became wary of his bad reputation. Enrollment in training centers bearing his name dropped sharply, with more pet owners turning to science-based methods over Milan's dominance. At its height, insiders called Milan's company a storm of discontent, tension, and distrust. Milan wasn't just a trainer, he was a reality TV star with hit shows on National Geographic, but that time seems like a long time ago. A planned follow-up to The Dog Whisperer couldn't get a deal with major platforms. His online courses lost their appeal as a wave of trainers favored science and positivity rose, making Milan's philosophy look out of date and less useful. Brands that were tied to Milan for pet products started pulling back, afraid that his controversies could hurt their own reputations. Piece by piece, Milan's empire started falling apart, leaving us to ask, can he save his legacy, or is this as rumors of internal conflict spread through the dog-loving community? Some stayed loyal, believing it was an attempt by a rival to bring him down, while others became disillusioned and lost faith. For years, Milan portrayed himself as a wise leader with deep animal insight, compassion, and duty. But lawsuits, accusations, and damning stories from his own team began to break down that image. Cesar Milan is no longer the unbeatable figure of dog training. His future hangs in the balance. Can he rebuild? No matter what happens, Cesar Milan's empire is shaking harder than ever and could fall at any time. In 2010, he lost two important things in his life: his loyal pit bull partner Daddy and his 16-year marriage to Illusion Milan. Daddy wasn't just an important part of Milan's career. He was also a living symbol of his training philosophy. When Daddy died of old age, it rocked Milan to his core, and a few months later, Yuyan filed for divorce. Cesar Milan fell into deep depression and even tried to kill himself by taking too many sleeping pills. But with the help of family and friends, he got back on his feet and found purpose again through his work and love for dogs. 10 years later, though, those old shadows came back, and this time Milan had to deal with more than just personal problems. He was hit by a wave of media attention, legal battles, and betrayal from people who used to be close to him. Lawsuits piled up from claims his people who used to support Cesar Milan publicly accused him of being mean to employees and dishonest with money. The media, which once called him the Dog Whisperer, now linked his name to a scandal. After the scandal, major TV deals dried up, and business partners quietly slipped away. Reports painted a tired, drained Cesar Milan, and photos showed a man who was much less confident than he used to be. He no longer owned the stage with his big presence. Milan was vague, his face filled with worry as criticism grew. He used to be a regular at animal training conferences, speaking engagements, and reality shows. But now his calendar was empty, fan meetups had stopped happening, and there was silence, which led to rumors that Milan was in therapy to escape the pressure of the media, or that his career had finally hit a wall. Even people close to him couldn't say for sure what was going on, and his company wouldn't answer questions about his health or mental state. Slowly, the image of a vibrant, unstoppable Cesar Milan faded. There were still unanswered questions about the dog whisperer's fate. Cesar Milan used to be the king of dog training. He was known for taming wild beasts and turning obedient dogs into loyal friends. But times changed, and his reputation took a beating from lawsuits, backlash from animal welfare groups, and a public that no longer believed in him. At his lowest point, Milan had to make a tough decision. Could he rise again in a nearly desperate attempt to reclaim his name? After months of silence, he finally came back on. He posted new training videos and heartfelt stories about his relationship with dogs on social media, and went live to talk to fans about his journey. This wasn't the bold, commanding Cesar Milan of old. Instead, people saw a man who had been through a lot and was trying to get back on his feet. He started new train programs that moved the focus from control to connection between people and pets. Some aired on YouTube and others on smaller TV channels. But from the start, negative comments poured in because people hadn't forgotten about his problems. Animal welfare groups people jumped on him, accusing him of whitewashing his image instead of truly evolving and realizing that new shows alone wouldn't cut it. Milan sat down for an honest, in-depth interview and talked about his ordeal for the first time. "I lost myself. I was trying so hard to prove something that I forgot who I really was," he said. This shocked people because it was Milan's first public reckoning with the pressures he'd been under and the mistakes he'd made. He talked about lonely nights and moments of despair so deep that he almost gave up, but he wondered if people would believe him. Some people were moved by his contrition, while others saw it as a show to get out of the serious charges that were still against him. Questions lingered. Was he really sorry, or was he just trying to save his career? Had the animal abuse claims ever been proven? Had his methods really changed, or were they the same old source of controversy? Milan knew he had to take bolder steps to win back people's trust. So he teamed up with animal welfare groups, which was something he hadn't done before, and promised to help abandoned dogs join rescue. He stopped focusing on just training and started teaching young trainers, passing on his hard-earned knowledge to a new generation. His goal wasn't just redemption, it was to show that he could still give back. But there was still a big problem. Major TV networks wouldn't touch him, and big platforms blacklisted him. He turned to YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, which was a tough path because he had to face a lot of criticism head-on. The ASPCA and other groups kept criticizing his methods. Even well-known trainers criticized Milan for his past actions, calling his comeback an insult to the profession. This made people wonder if Milan really had a chance at a comeback or if it was too late, considering his saga. Cesar Milan is in the fight of his life. He's not only fighting critics, he's also rebuilding trust with fans who used to love him through open interviews, new shows, and work with animal welfare. He's refusing to quit, but is it enough? The public still has the final say on Cesar Milan's fate. He did everything he could to save his image. He started new shows, opened up on air, and reached out to animal welfare groups. But the past wouldn't let go. Lawsuits, training scandals, and a lot of people's lost faith in him followed him around like ghosts. Now he's at a crossroads. This is his last chance to clear his name or a permanent one. Under a lot of pressure, Milan changed both his personal and professional life. He got rid of some of his old, controversial techniques and switched to a more modern approach based on behavioral psychology over dominance. It was a bold but risky move. If people believed in his change, it could start a new chapter. If they thought it was just a stunt, his career might be over for good. To prove himself, Milan held workshops with modern trainers to talk about new methods and gave free classes to dog owners who wanted to rebuild their dogs. Community trust reactions were mixed. Supporters praised his growth and change, while critics said he was just trying to fix his bad reputation. During this time, Milan kept being sued for allegedly mistreating animals. Old cases lingered unresolved while new accusers came forward. The public erupted, animal welfare groups doubled down, and major TV networks refused to work with him. It was a brutal blow to his efforts to fix his image, but Milan still had a core of die-hard fans who said that despite his flaws, his decades of work for dog lovers fans defended his legacy on social media, saying he deserved a second chance. Amid the chaos, Milan held a special event to face his fans directly and lay out his plan for the future. It was make or break. Could he win back their trust, or was it time for him to retire? Cesar Milan now has two options. He could keep fighting, staring down critics, and proving he's truly changed. If he does this right, he might claw back his place in dog training. He could step back, accept his golden years are over, and live a quiet life. Which will he choose? Or maybe the real question is, will the public even give him another chance after years of trouble? Cesar Milan didn't just survive, he changed. He showed that grit and passion can lift someone from the depths of despair. He slowly rebuilt his career, won back fans' trust, and cemented his reputation as a strong force in dog training. Even though he was hit with lawsuits, accusations, and betrayals, Milan refused to give up. He knew redemption wasn't about giving up. Instead of burying his past, he faced it head on and changed. He used the painful lessons he learned to become stronger and give more to the community. In 2013, despite the odds, he roared back with Leader of the Pack on Nat Geo Wild. The show did more than just train dogs. It found loving homes for dogs who were having trouble. It sent a strong message that every dog deserves a loving home, which struck a chord with animal lovers. The show didn't just improve Milan's image. It showed he still had a lot to offer. In 2014, he made the bold move of starting Cesar 911, a show that wasn't just about dogs but also about real problems pet owners were having. What made Cesar 911 unique was Milan's dual focus on fixing problem dogs and coaching people to change their own attitudes and actions. His main idea was that the problem wasn't the dog itself, but how people interact with them. By combining behavioral science with real-world knowledge and natural talent, Milan helped hundreds of owners decode K9 minds. Fostering Cesar 911 brought Milan's fame back and solidified him as a dedicated trainer who wants to do right by both people and dogs. Beyond TV, Milan expanded his reach. He went on the global speaking circuit with Cesar Milan Live, sharing not only training tips but also life lessons from his rocky road. He also started an official YouTube channel where he posts training guides that touch on pet tales and bits of his daily life. The channel got millions of views and became a key way for fans to connect with him. Through relentless hard work, Milan made his name a household name as not only a trainer but also a symbol of bravery, heart, and animal love. Looking back, Cesar Milan's path was not an easy one. He went from being a poor immigrant to a TV star, then hit by scandals and criticism that almost broke him. But with iron will, he rose again, stronger than before, leaving a lasting mark on dog training. His methods are still debated, but one thing is clear: Milan changed the way people saw dogs. He showed millions that raising a dog isn't just Cesar Milan isn't perfect, but his story shows that mistakes don't make you who you are, how you deal with them does. His journey isn't over. New challenges may come up, but Milan won't give up. He'll keep learning, growing, and leaving a legacy in the world of dog training that people will remember.